In today's video, I share the number one piece of information I wish every single family member received the moment their loved one was diagnosed with dementia. I'm guessing if you found your way to this channel, you would like to know more about dementia and how to make your caregiving experience a bit easier. You might be caring for somebody who gets upset with you, resists your care, doesn't want to interact with you, or just seems indifferent to you. It can be frustrating, it can be heartbreaking, and while the majority of appointments for your loved one with dementia are going to surround the actual diagnosis, the medications, the treatment options, hardly any of them will ever take time to talk to you about one of the number one keys into helping your loved one be more receptive to your care. The relationship you have with your loved one with dementia is extremely important for your caregiving journey. Your relationship can be the difference between your loved one accepting your care and your loved one resisting your care. And no matter how bad you think your relationship is with your loved one, I promise you there is hope to turn that around, especially using some of the tips I'm going to share at the very end of today's video. Before we jump into the details of today's video, I want to let you know that next week, starting on January 9th, I am hosting and kicking off my popular Make Caregiving Easier 10-day challenge. This is my extremely popular challenge. Careblazers love going through it, but in the spirit of the new year and my hopes and goals for this to be your most successful caregiving year yet, I'm offering it at a ridiculously discounted rate. So I hope you'll check it out. You can click the link below this video or go to makecaregivingeasier.com. It's my gift to you. This is going to be the quickest and most powerful way to totally transform your caregiving journey and start 2022 off right. It's the perfect way to start the new year, surrounded by supportive Careblazers, an amazing community, and getting the most important strategies and tools I believe every Careblazer needs to start making their caregiving journey easier. I hope to see you there. Okay, let's get back to today's video. The relationship you have with your loved one with dementia is extremely important, yet hardly anybody talks about it. As soon as that diagnosis is given, we spend so much time thinking about what does this mean for the future? What are the medications? What specifically is the diagnosis? What's the stage that we totally forget about the relationship we have with that person? We forget about our humanness. We forget that we are a friend, a spouse, a neighbor, a parent, right? We turn 100% into this caregiver and we lose the other part of our relationship. The ironic thing is, by turning full-fledged into a caregiver, you're setting yourself up to make it harder for you to actually deliver care and for your loved one to be receptive to your care. Some of you might be in positions right now, in relationships right now, where your loved one seems to resent you, seems frustrated with you, doesn't want to accept help from you. Others might be in relationships caring for somebody who accepts your care, but you don't really feel connected to your loved one, and you're wanting to hang on to whatever positive interactions you can still have together. Either way, it's possible for you to turn your relationship around, and it's possible for you to maintain and improve whatever relationship you have. So let's start out by thinking, who is this for? Who is this video for? If you are caring for a loved one with dementia, whether you have a great relationship with your loved one or you do not have a great relationship with your loved one, this video is for you. So let's talk briefly about why it's so important. Why do I think it's so important that we're focusing on the relationship when it comes to dementia care? The better relationship you have with your loved one with dementia, the more likely they are going to accept your care, the less likely they are going to resist your care, the less likely they are going to have some of those really challenging, heartbreaking behaviors like saying rude things to you, believing things about you that aren't true, trying to resist your help with anything that you want to help with. Also, the better relationship you have with your loved one, the more enjoyable the overall experience is for you and for your loved one with dementia. Also, if you're in a position right now where your loved one doesn't really need a lot of hands-on care, by focusing on the relationship you have together, you are going to make it more likely that they're going to be willing to accept your care in the future when the time comes, they need more hands-on care. So many Careblazers I talk to would describe the relationship they have with their loved one with dementia as negative, right? And then they're so confused and shocked when their loved one is not willing to have that person help them with their finances, help them with bathing, help them with dressing. Helping somebody with dementia with these hands-on activities, or even more personal activities like managing finances, that's hard enough even if the person doesn't have dementia, right? That's hard enough even if you have a great relationship with the person with dementia. Now, try to add on a negative relationship, a relationship in strain, and try to do those things. That's going to be really difficult. So let's talk briefly about how the relationship you have with somebody with dementia is different than a relationship you have with somebody else, and how you can still improve your relationship with your loved one. When it comes to somebody with dementia, there are going to be natural changes in the relationship. That person is going to start to show some decline, have some difficulty with communication, not be able to interact as much or as well as they did in the past, show some decline in their memory. The good news here is that it only takes one person to start to really turn around the relationship with somebody who has dementia. And that one person, Careblazer, you guessed it, it's you. Most people are so focused on the person with dementia, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what they're saying, what they're not saying, that they're not focused on the one person that actually can make all the change, themselves. You. Careblazer, let's do a little honesty minute right now, okay? Do you feel like the only way for your relationship with your loved one to change is for them to change? Do you feel like there's really no hope and there's nothing you can do to get your relationship to improve? Do you think your loved one is doing things on purpose because maybe they've always been a little bit negative or rude or mean towards you? If you answered yes to any of those questions, I really want you to keep an open mind as I start going through this video even further and sharing specific tips, because this is really going to challenge you. In order for you to start improving the relationship you have with your loved one, you have to start by changing the thoughts you have about your loved one. By starting to make changes in your thoughts, you can start to see changes in the relationship. Right? So starting to think things that you honestly currently believe. So it might be something like, I believe it's possible to improve the relationship. It might be possible to improve the relationship. I'm curious to see if it's possible to improve the relationship. I'm open to believing it's possible to improve the relationship. I'm committed to improving the relationship. Somewhere on that continuum, I want you to find a belief that you believe to be true, and I want you to start practicing that thought. In just a minute, I'm going to share with you practical, real-life things you can start doing with your loved one today in 5 minutes or less. But before I do, I want you to start thinking of these changes you're going to make, of the improvements you're going to make in your relationship. I want you to start thinking of them as seeds, right? When people plant seeds, they don't plant the seed and then dig it up the next day to see if something's happening, and then put the dirt back on it, and then dig it up again to see if something's happening, and then put the dirt back on it. If you did that, the seed never has a chance to grow, right? But people plant seeds all the time, and they believe by giving it the proper nourishment, the proper attention, that seed will eventually grow. That is the perspective, the attitude, the mentality you're gonna have to take if you're committed to improving your relationship. You're gonna try some of the things I'm about to give you, and your loved one might not respond the way you want them to. You might not see immediate change the way that you wish you would see it. That's okay. I want you to consider this process as you are planting a seed. And each time you try one of the things I'm going to talk about, you're watering that seed. You're giving sunlight to that seed. You're giving nourishment to that seed. With that, we have to shift the attention to what your loved one is doing and how your loved one is responding, and we have to shift it to you, what you're doing, how you're responding, what attention you're giving. What I'm encouraging you to do is every day for the next 30 days, or just choose every day for the month of January, Actually, this is going to go in January. So just choose the next 30 days or for the rest of January. What I want you to do in 5 minutes or less is I want you to focus on the relationship you have with your loved one with dementia and do something every day that does not involve direct caregiving. I'm going to give you some specific examples. Again, have zero expectation for how your loved one's going to respond. You're focused on you giving sunlight and nourishment to that seed, okay? Try things like giving a genuine compliment to your loved one. Smile genuinely at them. Look them in the eyes when you give them a glass of water or a snack or pass by them. Give them a hug, hold their hand, massage their shoulders or back. Do an activity together that has nothing to do with caregiving, like reading a book together, dancing to a song together, doing a puzzle together, listening to a comedy show together, watching some birds together, cooking a meal together, going through a photo album together, reminiscing on a past vacation or your wedding day, or talking about a pleasant memory you have with friends or children together. Again, Careblazer, this is where so many of you are going to get tripped up. Do not focus on how they're actually doing, how they're engaging, whether or not they seem interested. You just initiate the task, do what you can on your own, and invite them, incorporate them. If they don't want to do it, that's okay. Simply notice something good about them. You don't even have to tell them. Like that can be your challenge on one of the days. Notice something good about them. Their hands seem more clean than normal. The color of the sweater they're wearing looks really nice. They ate a lot of their food today. You like when they laugh at what they're watching on TV. It can be something simple. Just make it a challenge for you to notice something you like about them that day. Think about the activities and things you're going to do for your relationship, like people interact with somebody who might be in a coma, right? If you've ever seen somebody interact with somebody who's in a coma, maybe you've seen it on TV, they will hold that person's hand. They might stroke their hand. They might rub their hands through their hair. They might pray with them. They might listen to music with them. They might sing a song to them. They might sit there and talk and just tell about their day, right? Without any expectation that the person in the coma is going to respond in a certain way. Right? And they're not getting frustrated. They're not giving up. They're not saying it's not worth it because the person in a coma isn't talking back or isn't doing exactly what they want. They believe and they hope and they're just sharing their love with that person. That is the approach I'm really encouraging you to take with your loved one who has dementia. Each and every action you're doing, even the actions you're only doing in your head, you're not even letting your loved one know, they are watering that seed. They are giving nourishment to that seed. For my Care Course members, we are together going to be going through a 30-day challenge in 5 minutes or less a day, focusing on improving the relationship you have with your loved one with dementia. So keep your eyes peeled on your inbox for that special announcement. For everyone else, I hope you'll give it a try. I know for many of you, you're probably going to dismiss this message. You're going to think this sounds silly. This doesn't work. My loved one just needs to change. Right? But for those of you who believe, for those of you who are willing to try, for those of you who believe there's got to be a better way to go through this caregiving journey, there has got to be something to improve your relationship, and you know improving your relationship will make the overall caregiving experience better. I'm really excited to see what this can do for you. Also, if you are in that category, you are exactly the type of person that would benefit from my Make Caregiving Easier challenge because you're somebody who's proving you're open-minded, you're willing to try things, you're open to new experiences. You're exactly the kind of person who's going to see the most success and transformation going through this 10-day journey. So I hope you'll be able to click on the link below this video or go to makecaregivingeasier.com. And I look forward to you joining the challenge. We get started on January 9th. All right, Careblazer, I'll be back next week with another video. In the meantime, I'm wishing all of you happier, healthier, better relationships in 2022. Bye. As soon as that diagnosis,